Hey everybody! So, I don't know if you know me, but my name is Kat, and today we're going to break down something a lot of small to medium businesses are struggling with right now. How to use AI and boost their productivity without accidentally destroying their team in the process. There's a smart way to do this, and that's what the human first approach is all about. Basically, it's a framework that helps you grow your output while keeping your data and your pipeline intact. Now, I suppose, let's get into it. Now, most people think they have only two options. Option A, go all in on automation, replace roles, maximize efficiency. But the risk is that you hollow out your workforce and lose the institutional knowledge that makes your business actually run. Option B, play it safe, move slowly. But then you get to watch your competitors who are adopting AI pull far ahead of you. The thing, though, is that the research tells us something different. When you use AI within its capability boundaries, you get about a 14% productivity boost. And that's significant. But if you push it outside those boundaries, performance can drop 19% or more. So it's not about if you use AI, it's about where you use it and why you're using it that matters. The human first approach, as we're going to talk about, and what this human first term really means, basically, it's really about a clear division of labor. On the AI side, all it needs to be capable of is drafting and content creation, data extraction and summarization, classification and pattern flagging. These are all the high repetitive, low reward roles that AI generally tends to excel at. Now, on the human side, there are certain things that you need to keep with you, things that are non-negotiable and need to be considered when you're applying an AI model. You need to keep decision rights, which means you are the person deciding what this AI is doing. You need final approvals, which means you've reviewed the work and you understand what's going on and you think that this is right. And accountability, being able to modify the model to make sure that it is not using biases or bad data, ensuring that, if something is going wrong or there is a mistake, that there is a person who can hold either the vendor or your company accountable for what's going on. Exception handling, quality assurance, those are pretty, self-evident, I feel. Basically, it's just how do we handle the tiny things that tend to come up in day-to-day that might not fit our workflows, and how do we handle those things. Quality assurance is just ensuring that you're producing quality work, Now, you don't have to be anti-AI. If you are, I understand that. I myself have some ecological and other reservations about this, but I really think that in order to move this technology forward, because quite frankly, we can't put it back in the box, we need to be smart about where AI works best and where humans need to stay in control. And to do this right, we need a framework. All right. Now, as we'll talk about the framework. This is the human framework, 5 steps to deploy AI while protecting your talent. Hold just means hold accountability first. Before you touch any tool, set your non-negotiables for that workflow. AI recommends, humans approve, especially when it comes to money, safety, and compliance. And most critically, not eliminating entry role learning. You understand. Map out 10 to 20 processes that are critical to your business functions. Score each step on repetition versus judgment. High repetition versus low judgment. That's the automation sweet spot. Because the thing is you're not going to necessarily have those people learning in those roles if they're not being able to be taught the discernment. As I like to say, school likes to teach you a lot of the time, to memorize stuff. But just because you can memorize something or you know how a process works does not mean that you understand it. Does not mean that you have judgment, which is really what the money-making aspect of business in some of these industries that I'm talking about or trying to help need. Manage, which is basically just managing risk like security. Treat AI adoption the same way that you would treat security initiatives. There are certain frameworks that work really good with this, in tandem. I'm a particular fan of the WOWASP and more fond of NIST. Both of these will give you some pretty solid baselines. Active or activate. Pilot with gates, man. Don't roll out everything at once. Test one workflow for about 30 to 60 days with human review on anything external facing. If it passes, move on to the next workflow. But I really cannot press enough. Dear God, use pilots. People are not doing that enough these days, and it's causing issues for not just clients, but the people running the damn thing. And we don't need that anymore. So pilots, pilots, pilots. And nurture capability over time. Okay? Track metrics, reinvest in training, see where your people are falling short and try to make up that gap. And most importantly, build expertise internally, okay? Now what we're going to do is talk about this entry-level piece that I've been hagging about. And I'll tell you, this is actually more important than most people realize. Here we go. Look at this pipeline, people. Every senior person, every leader in your company started somewhere, okay? They learned the business, made mistakes, built judgment over time. And when you automate away entry level completely, you're not just cutting costs today. You're cutting off the pipeline that produces your future experts. And here's the key insight for SMBs. Unlike big enterprises, you can't just keep hiring expensive senior talent from the outside. You have to build in-house. So instead of eliminating entry roles, you shift them to quality assurance. Basically, they'll be doing exception handling, verification, things like that, so that they can make sure that the information coming from the model is the information that needs to be used for the work. And this actually trains people into thinking and recognizing patterns and how to understand information more than just memorizing it, okay? So let's talk about keeping this secure. You can't implement AI without governance. And you're going to have about 3 pillars for this. Tool governance, which is just maintaining an approved tool list. You're going to check your vendors for certain compliance stuff, certifications, licenses, and obviously you really need to know who their sub-processors are. The human review piece. Always be explicit about what needs to be human, okay? Money movement, so important. Safety critical operations. If you are running a pipeline and you know that technology does X, Y, and Z on that pipeline, then you need somebody there watching it, okay? Compliance decisions, obviously that goes without saying. All of that needs to be human approved, all right? Our last little bit here is technical controls. SSO and MFA are non-negotiable, people. I know people are so scared of Duo and Microsoft Intro and all that, but please if you are scared, or if you are one of those people, please take a look at my videos on my YouTube. I think I might have some on the TikTok here, but look at this stuff, people, because honestly, it's not as scary as you think it is, and I break it down, I think, pretty well. If it's not still up there, just let me know, and I can just repost that video and give you guys some information about MFA, how it works, and the ins and outs of running that kind of system. All right, our last thing here, as you can see, is going to be starting this week. All right, here is your action plan. 5 things you can do this week to help you, okay, if this is the path that you're considering. 1, pick 3 workflows. Look for high repetition, low judgment. Apply those human boundaries that we talked about earlier. Choose 1 tool with strong security, just 1, and then run a 30-day pilot with review gates. Document what you learn and scale only what is measurable, okay? And remember, the winners are not the ones who automate the fastest. They're the ones who automate the smartest and understand that humans come first. All right. Thank you guys for watching, and drop a comment if you want me to go into deeper on any of these topics, or if you have some concerns about AI. I understand that I have my own concerns when it comes to the ecological stuff about it and all of that, but I want to hear from real people what they view the issues of AI are, so that possibly I can make frameworks or suggestions to the broader community that might encourage us to start utilizing this in a more efficient and sustainable way. Again, thanks for watching. Drop a comment. Have a good day.